Hey, what's up, guys? Listen, I get this question quite often. Courtney, how do you keep a positive mindset, okay? How did you become such this positive person? And guys, I'm going to keep it short, keep it simple, get straight to the point. How did I get to this point? Now, the first thing I did when I reflect, about 10, 11 years ago, I came across this documentary called The Secret. The Secret was basically people sharing their experience with the law of attraction, how to raise your vibration, and that's what really got me into the whole manifestation, positive, mindset thing, and I just started learning and researching from there. Okay, so guys, listen, my top 3 ways to keep a positive mindset: shift your vibration into a higher state, okay, and put your life in a better positive position. Number 1, stay away from negative people. Guys, there was a time in my life I had negative people in my life, which transformed me to a negative person. Sometimes you can be a negative person, you can be in a negative environment and don't even realize it, okay? But once you do realize this, guys, you have to get away, okay? Even if you have to walk alone, get away, because being in a negative environment will not create positivity. You're gonna see, this is what we were doing. And now when I say negative, I'm not saying that like we were doing bad things, but what we were doing, we had a negative mindset. We were always blaming other people for our issues. We never took accountability for our own actions. Everything that was going on in our lives was created by somebody else. It was someone else that created these problems, okay? We were losers, okay? There was a time in my life, guys, I was a loser because I had a loser's mentality. But once I learned how to shift my mindset, that's when things started to change. And it started to change when I distance myself from negativity, okay? That's number 1, all right? Number 2, okay? Number 2, silence. Silence. Let me say this again, guys. Silence. Learning when to be quiet. There comes a time where we get into debates, we get into arguments. As humans, we tend to want to have the last word. We tend to want to prove a point. We tend to want to keep it real, right? But guys, let me tell you something. Trying to prove a point, always trying to keep it real, doesn't always means it's going to bring out the best in the situation. A lot of people's lives have been destroyed, okay, ruined, because a lot of times we as people do not know how to be silenced. When you find yourself, let's say, in an argument, in a situation, okay, guys, you don't have to always fight fire with fire, because we know what happened when you do that. Learning how to be silenced, knowing when to walk away can save us from so much negativity happening in our lives. So many people's lives have been ruined. So many people have been, their lives have been taken. So many people are sitting in prison right now because they didn't know when to be silenced. Being silenced is one of the best weapons that we have, is to be silenced, okay? So that's number 2. And number 3, guys, is my most important way of staying positive, is finding the good in everything. I will say from my experience, there was a time in my life I didn't have a lot of money. My career wasn't in the position that I wanted it to be. We wasn't living in the best place that we wanted to live. We wasn't driving the best cars that we wanted to drive. But once I started to be grateful for what I had at the time, once I started to, again, look at the positive of my situation at the time, even though I didn't have what I wanted, but when I started realizing and evaluating my life, saying, wow, I might not live where I want to live, but I have a roof over my head. I might not be driving what I want to drive, but I do have my own transportation, okay? I might not have a lot of money, but my family, we don't go without a meal. Our bills are still getting paid. And once I start looking at the good, because one thing you have to realize, when we complain, oh, I don't have the car that I want. But guess what? I guarantee you, the car that you have, there's a lot of people out there that would love to have that car that you have, so they don't have to walk, so they don't have to take public transportation. The house that you live in might not be the best. You might live in an apartment, okay? You might live with somebody. But guess what, guys? There's a lot of people right now in this world that have nowhere to go, okay? The job might not be the best job that you want at the time. You might be at a point of your career. Your business might not be doing good. But guess what, guys? There's a lot of people who are homeless and they have nothing. And they would love to have that job that we're complaining about. They would love to have that career that might not be going too well for us. Okay? So what I'm saying is, look at the good in everything. Okay? When you think you don't have something, think about the people who don't have nothing, and that will show you that you have more than enough. All right, guys, hopefully this video can help somebody. Thanks again for watching. See you in the next one.